Sacred Heart University Theater Arts program this past weekend just put on the Rocky Horror Show, with about 100 students on campus involved in this production, pushed new heights for the students and the program. The Rocky Horror Show is a comedic tribute to science fiction movies about being your true self, with audience callbacks wherein live theater normally is not allowed. In Shu's production, it stars newly couple Brad and Janet, played by Grace Pecknick and Sean Ryan, both sophomores in the theater arts program, as well as Nikki Duca and Nick Rubano playing Frankenfurter and Rocky. We got to sit down with Nick Rubano as he talks about his experience and what it's like putting on this type of show at Sacred Heart University.
My name is Nick Rubano, and I played Rocky in the Rocky Horror Show. He's just such an iconic character, I think. And I did always really love Rocky's song, The Sword of Damocles, so I was super excited that I got to sing that.
On March 31st on campus, the cast members attended a march for queer and trans youth, with cast member Sage Sperling speaking, as well as Jonah Savage, a lighting designer that also spoke at this march. And the following weekend, a sit-down talkback with Jessica Riley, a transgender woman talking about her experience being transgender and how it has affected her throughout her life and who she is now as a person. We now see states like Tennessee, where Governor Bill Lee has signed a bill banning drag shows in public spaces, where schools and theaters are now banned from putting on a list of beloved shows. With this bill, any show featuring an artist dressing or performing outside of their gender identity could be prohibited and being staged in certain Tennessee venues.
As many people out there that want to censor shows like this and messages like this, I really do think there are way more people that want to keep promoting shows and keep fostering the arts and sharing themes of love and acceptance. And I think if we need help, then we put out there that we need help. We put on social media that we want to do this show. And since Sacred Heart is in a position where thankfully we have that support, where we can do these shows, we need to take advantage of that and we need to put our hearts into it. And I think that's what we did. So we can show other schools and other communities that this is something to be proud of, not something to be ashamed of, and that we need to keep arts like this alive. And there's a reason that people created this show, and there's a reason people are still doing it decades later. I think that it's not something that people here get to experience super often, seeing a show live like this. I think that it definitely caused a stir, and there were some people that didn't love it because of the subject matter and because of how out there it is. But the wide majority of people that I've spoken to have absolutely loved the show and said it was the most fun they've ever had at the theater. And to hear something like that for something that I cared so much about is really validating. It was definitely a company effort. We publicized this show nonstop. I feel every single time I talked to a person, I was telling them to come get tickets to Rocky Horror. We put those pictures everywhere. We did the table times. It was just really everybody putting themselves out there in a way that they never had before. And I think that fared really well for ticket sales and got a lot of people to come check out our show. I've always loved Rocky Horror, and I've always loved theater. I started when I was 6. I don't think my mom ever thought when she signed me up to be an orphan in Oliver that she'd be watching me dance around in lingerie. I think that my high school self, my middle school self, would be shocked and really proud of the fact that I did a show like this. I right now am proud that I was able to do a show like this, and it really I've never been super confident in myself. I've always been very self-critical, so doing something that encompasses both singing high, which I've always been worried about, I really have never been super confident in my body, so being disciplined and then putting myself out there for hundreds of people to see, I think that the me that started performing seriously back then, I think that he would be very proud of this show.
Grace Posillico, Fairfield, Connecticut.